Bronze pack method. Does it work? Can you do it? And is it actually worth doing in FC25? We're going to answer all them questions today because there is a lot to answer for it. There is many ways that you can kind of grind it out and different ways that you actually want to do it. The basic premise of bronze pack method, or BPM, opening bronze pack and selling what's worth selling. It's as simple as that. And this year, because there is no more contracts, there's a lot more kind of Tifus and stuff like that in the packs, it becomes very interesting to see how it works. Now, obviously, when it comes to the bronze pack in general, and silver and gold to be fair, they've got rid of the single pack. So when you had a bronze pack, you had a 400 coin pack. That was probably the best bronze pack method you could possibly make. Now we don't have that. We've got the premium silver pack, the premium bronze, and the premium gold. There is no more gold pack, bronze pack, or silver pack. Everything is now premium. So what this means is, A, you are spending a bit more every single time, which is absolutely fine because technically you should be able to make it back as well. So for instance, someone like this, you could sell him for 200. If you're strapped for coins, I would definitely sell him for 200 because he more than likely will go at some point. Someone like that where we've got 54 seconds and there's multiple 200s, I wouldn't bother.
If you need coins in FC25, lootbar.gg has you covered. They are the cheapest trading platform on the game, 8 to 10% cheaper than any others, 8% off if you use the code JT11 at the end at checkout, plus you get 5% extra on coins. With the fastest delivery system going, used by many FC25 creators such as Zorky, Manny Plus, and even pro owners. So if you need any coins, head over to lootbar.gg, make sure JT11's in the promo code, and hopefully you enjoy.
We also then have rares. Most of the time they are going to be worth at least selling. If, like you see there, a 5-minute, keep them in your club and sell them on a later date. Now, the bronze pack method always will work because naturally you can hold on to cards become more inflated. If you go and get, for instance, a Serie A card right now and we look at him and think, okay, well, he's coming in at 200. We know full well if there was an objective, an SBC, that required a bronze Serie A or just a Serie A for an SBC, regardless of rating, that will go up 100%. So there is kind of that big thing where right now they might not be worth anything. You might only get 250 for him. You might not even get the 200. But if you are still looking at these players later on, then you definitely can make some coins still. So the big thing that you've got to always take when it comes to doing bronze pack, we've got, say, 750 we instantly buy right now. So 750s down the toilet right now. We then look at the discards because it's all about averages. So for instance, with these discards, we know that manager's not worth anything. We get 285. Roughly it's between 250 and 300. If we say we round up to the 300 because it's an easier number to go with. If we take that 300 off 750, you're left with what, 450? Yeah, maths is quick. So you've got to find 450. So realistically, if we could find 200 off each of these players, we've made money. Now, it's not always going to be the case. More than likely, not every single pack's going to make you money. But the big thing from this is, we've got these free players, so we've added them to the value. You can discard them if you really want, and this is where the bronze pack method goes a couple of ways. But if we follow this train line, so say we're keeping them, we can obviously utilize them later, we can sell them later. That's going to be a big thing. So obviously this manager's not worth anything. Again, we're going to put everybody down. We've got 270 on this pack. If we wanted to put all these players in, then obviously we could do that as well. We've got 200 from him. We got nothing from him and probably nothing from him. So already every single player that we're buying, because you can't buy bronze players or buy any players for less than a minimum 200, you are getting them at a better rate than buying them. That's always number one to remember. We see we got 230 on that one. So that's always a great one when it comes to the silver upgrade, which I'll go into in a second. As you see, we don't get anything here, but we do get a player now. 200, we'll actually give him a go, give him a sell. So that's going to be, again, something that we can go with. And what you want to be doing is kind of, if you are worried about the coins, track it down, because naturally you will find a player that is extinct, you'll find a manager that's worth a few K, and that's where the money earn happens. If we're only losing, say, between 300 and 450 per pack every single time, if we was to open up 10 packs and not find anything, then realistically we've lost 3 to 4,500. that means you get to open 10 packs. And if you then go get a 5k card, you have made that entire profit back. So it's very difficult to not make the money, because eventually you will. There's sometimes you could be very lucky and the exact first free packs you could get free extinct players. That's just how it works. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Now obviously we will go until we get somebody at the very minimum. But what we can do right now is, obviously with the profits that we're making, we could go and then use the bronze packs in somewhere else. So I can't imagine I've had too much sell, because we've not really put anybody up at the moment. But if we go and look at an SBC, we can go and see that we can go and use these upgrades in either the Premier, the Prime Bronze, the Prime Silver, which is always nice. We then have challenges you'll be able to utilize these in. Marquee matchups is going to be a great one, especially when you are looking at, for instance, something like this. You only need 2 silvers, the rest can be bronze. You've got a few others that obviously will minimum silver, so that just is what it is. But with the upgrades from the bronze upgrade, we can start doing silver packs. So this again is going to be great, because most bronzes now are just not going to be worth anything. So you can just squad build, put them straight in, and we got 2 silver players back. Now that's going to add to the value, because whenever you grind at SBC, do anything like that, and you see YouTubers, myself included, put free, because if you are doing all this, you are getting it for free, because you're making the money back from the bronze packs. We then get free cards back from here. We then put them back into the SBCs. We'll then get more tradable packs back from doing them SBCs. And it's just a constant rolling cycle. So for instance, we managed to get English 2, Championship, and also German 1. Now obviously some of them can be worth coins. They're obviously untradeable as well. But they're going to be great to be putting into marquee matchups, other gamble SBCs, back into the silver upgrade for golds, for more upgrades. Now it is a long process, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that they're absolutely flying and everybody's going to make millions, but they are very good to do as well. We obviously get the prime, so we're going to put the bronze in here. We'll go bronze and we'll go low. Hopefully it picks 3 rares up, which I can imagine it won't. So we'll go and put them in ourselves. Now obviously try and utilize as many untradables as possible, because that's just going to be the best for business there. So we'll go ahead and put all of these players in. That's going to give ourselves the prime bronze. Always do this, because I believe from last time it is actually tradable, so it is going to be worth at least giving it a punt. You might as well. Then you've obviously got the silver one. We obviously will try and utilize a lot of the untradables with the silvers, because we're now starting to get a few. Don't know if I actually have any rares that are untradeable with silver, because they're not necessarily used really anymore. That's kind of the big thing, is that silvers and bronzes used to be this big thing. Whenever we had League SBCs, they were massive to use. Whereas now, the League SBCs at the minute are not here. I can imagine they will come back, but realistically with the exchange, with the weekly upgrades and everything else, there's just not a need for them, to be honest. So obviously with these prime, bronze and silver, I believe they were tradable. You can do 1 every single week and they are tradable. So that's always going to be nice for them extra little bit of profits. So you can have a look through as well. So we just have a quick little look. The best thing is when it comes to Ultimate Team in any sort of scenario, selling anything that's tradable is always worth it. You want to go as untradable as possible just to make as much profit as possible, because that's going to be the big thing. So we've got a decent card. Oh, nearly a decent card. Now I'm going to whack him up for 700, because I reckon with a repeat he might actually go for something. We've got, I was going to say, are all of these actually rare? We get another 200 in him. And then we keep going down. A lot of the time, major leagues, major nations are going to be your best friend when it comes to looking. Most of the time, you kind of look at the Chinese league, the Korean league, the Saudi. You don't really find anything at the moment unless marquee matchups is in play. So I would suggest definitely looking at marquee matchups every single Thursday. Because if you find one of the bronze SBCs that requires, say, a Wolves, for instance, that's going to be a great player to sell later on. So again, you could look at the profits and think, okay, he's 600 right now. If we do get a Wolves derby or anything like that, and he does go up, you saw, who was it? You saw was it Arsenal? No, it might have been Man City. Man City and someone, I think it was West Ham. each player was 1.5 at a minimum. Doesn't matter who they are, 1.5 off the bat. So whether you'd want to keep them and potentially and kind of going with that, that's always a nice option as well, especially with silvers. There's definitely more room for profits there. And you can do silver pack method, that is definitely a thing, but it is a little bit more risky. Like for instance, if it was to just show you a quick example, the big thing with silvers is that you need to have the substance in the kits. The kits are your best friend here because the players, unless you are finding very good profits from them or managers, you're not going to make that much back. 3.5k every single pack is very difficult to make from silvers. So badges, unfortunately, we can't see. They are unfortunately broken. So we know we put them at 250. We could see if it does sell. In that one, unfortunately, we didn't make any kits. But when it comes to kits, they tend to be the sellers, to be honest. That's kind of the best thing about them. If you find a random kit, because not everybody's opening up silver packs. Now, not every kit's going to be an absolute blowout, but you might find quite a few that are at least a K or two. I found some at the very start of the game that were absolutely brilliant, and then it's kind of gone a bit quiet since then. But silver packs are mainly if you are really looking for coins, and you've got a lot of coins to splash out. So I would suggest definitely going with the bronzes. Now, if we keep going for that manager, there is a full list somewhere. I want to say, if I can find X, I'm pretty sure I favorited it to find it because there was kind of like a running price list of all the managers at the moment. Now, you do take your time to get them, but normally France, Netherlands, Brazil, always great ones to find. If I can find my bookmarks, we've got 20 hidden gems. I guarantee that the bookmark, for some reason, the bookmark's just never right for me. See if I switch accounts. No, it's not even that one. Let me have a look. There we go. I have found it. So you've got BPM managers. Belgium 4.2, 3.8 for Brazil, France 3.4, Canada, Ghana, all of the way down. You can see they do sell. Now this guy is a great example to go with. Obviously with him, he is personally all about bronze pack method, which I personally absolutely love. The commitment to a bronze pack method is absolutely brilliant, and it is a great method. Even if, like I say, you don't see the full results straight away, things do sell. They always will sell, and they always are going to sell because people need it. You've got foundations to SBCs doing every single day, marquee matchups coming out every week. You've obviously got a lot of gamble SBCs, a lot of daily SBCs that come out, and they just manage to rise prices. Now, you can go if you've got a lot of coins. For instance, if you're sitting over the 400k mark and maybe you don't want to sell any players right now, keep everything. Wait for the duplicates, because you know then if you get anything that's absolutely massive and is a duplicate, you have another one. Or when you do come to getting the marquee matchups, the profit that you're going to get because you've invested is absolutely massive. So if I see, for instance, this guy, he say he sells for 300 right now. If I was to keep him and then you need an Argentinian cam for whatever reason and he goes up to 2k, holding him for just that week, that 2 weeks, that month potentially, and then holding him even more, and I hold every one of his friends that are an Argentinian cam, you've then made, instead of 300 coin profit a time, to then making 3k per card. And it happens a lot. It's not necessarily an unknown thing if you go for different marquee matchups. And I think the best one, to be honest, and it's a great one to be stocked up for, Black Friday. It's just a Black Friday promo. I know it's Thunderstruck, but you basically have like a whole day. Every half an hour, every hour, we get daily SBCs, objectives, every single hour or half an hour. And some of them, yes, are kind of going into them golds and silvers, but there is a lot when it comes to bronzes as well. And they are absolutely massive for profit, because if you've got everybody already, you can either finish you yourself or you make absolute bank, because if they choose that specific nation, that specific club in a random off league, then you are the one to be selling straight off the bat. And everybody else will be the same if you are really holding these bronze packs. But even if you could get, for instance, English cards going up to 300 each, the amount of English leagues from 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think they might have 5 still. I don't know if they do because Wrexham's now up, but the amount of bronze English talent that you can get across the board already stocked up in your club would make hundreds of thousands. It's a crazy profit margin when you truly get to it. Now, we will obviously go until we get a manager, and then we can see the profits. Oh, and that's another one, straight off that pack. Now, I don't think he's worth too much just yet, but obviously, being Mbappe's brother, that's going to be a great one when an evolution comes specifically for him. So he's going to be a great one to have a look at, because you just know that he's going to be in there. And I think he's like a K at best. Personally, for me, he's going to be one to hold for like a glow up. I know we did have the right back one, so they are doing it. So I would suggest, like, that is a perfect example. Job last year was another great one that you can go with, because you just know it's going to be coins at some point. And we do get Cameroon. Was that the manager? No, was Cameroon not there? Pretty sure Cameroon was one of his examples, but I could be wrong. It was... Oh, no, maybe not. There's a big example of a player. Lovely 800 from him. Not a clue why, but we don't argue. We just sell him up. Now, also, just as a little extra, if you are looking for the coins and don't want to miss out on that hour, maybe people do add him in, kind of like in your hour, so maybe someone tries to undercut you. Just put it 100 or 200 under what your original is. So say, for instance, this guy's selling for 800, put him for 650, so that you know that you will get him gone as quick as possible. Because if people are looking, at least you are under the undercut as well. And more than likely, there's not going to be many that go so under. Maybe somebody goes on your level, or somebody goes just above. And there we go. French manager, easy coins. So we've managed to get a Bundesliga striker. We're going to keep them just purely on like what I said with holding profit. Managers, to be honest, just get rid. There's very little reason to have them. But this is the perfect example. I don't know what they were saying their French managers were coming in at. They said 3.4. If you do want to have a quick check as well, exit and sort later. Then obviously go into the transfer list. Then you want to go into staff. Then you go to managers, go to France, you can go gold and bronze, but we're just going to go with bronze for the moment and just see what comes up where. So we got 3.7 there. Pretty much most will hit that value, so it's not like one person's going to be more expensive than the other. Eventually you will see them, so we are just going to have a quick look. If we go down to 3.5, I think he's pretty much bang on. We're going to go 3.5. It's got 58 minutes, and again, that's just now paid for. You think about all of them packs. So if we say we're 300 under on every single one, that's going to pay for at least 11 packs that we didn't get anything on. So that's the big earner right there. Plus then obviously actually getting rid of stuff, and all the stuff actually in our club as well. So it is very lucrative. It can be a bit boring, I'm not going to lie. Sitting here opening bronze packs isn't the most enjoyable, but it's easy printing coins if you can just keep with it. And eventually it will come gold for you.